Right, hello. First up, I think I'll go to this and tell you that I'm not thinking that I'll ever hit or we'll ever hit 20 people again. Right. That's looking at the views on Dailymotion. But I think people come to the website not as instantly as YouTube, so we might be 20 now. Just in case you wanted to know how many in the community there were. Right, comments over on Ricardo watched the video and found another one of Spira that he's going to think about. This one, oh no, it's not this one. Ella is live now, and it's just a load of shite from Axel. I've had two little snippets on Ella just to see, but it just looks like normal Ella to me. I'll have a look through, but it's interesting to know how the flow goes. We just blow hot and cold on these things. I know I do. And Axel could be having a veer away from it, you know, overdose or something, or just does not like Ella. So let's just say that if I'm going to reference the English school, I'll reference Jim. Okay? We'll forget the girls. We'll reference Jim. If I reference the girl, I'll explain why I'm particularly referencing her on this particular occasion. But otherwise, if in doubt, we're talking Jim. Okay? Jim Newman, I think his name is. Newman. Another Axel comment. If consciousness is an illusion, etc., then we are nothing more than particle interactions, or at a more basic level, field interactions. So they are this is the Akashic records thing. So talking with Trawler. If consciousness is not an illusion which is independent from the universe, then things are very strange indeed. My personal opinion is that consciousness is developed by the brain. So this is where I think Axel's just gone off for the minute, which is absolutely normal. Sorry, Axel, but it is normal, isn't it? It's what we do. Because consciousness is developed by the brain. This is consciousness, whatever it might be, is developed from rocks. You know, my shorthand of it. Or, as your point of view was, call it a Higgs field because it's quick, a Higgs field. So you've got, where I go on with this, it's funny that the wall behind me, certainly on this, looks yellow-green or something. It's now as bright white as you could possibly imagine. Here, the pyramid of reference that we have, where PW has PW at the top, that one. Talking about these sort of things, I have what I call a Feynman diagram, or as one of my references that I use, and Axel has the Higgs field as one of the references he uses. And I think from a quick glance point of view, they're pretty much similar. What we developed by the brain, there isn't really even a brain, is there? And this is certainly seems to be what we have with Jim. His point of view reference point in the pyramid here has gone AWOL. It's gone away for some reason. It's not there. And special reason, Lisa, I noticed, because I was listening to Lisa while doing some weeding yesterday, she made an interesting comment that one of the feeling thoughts that she has about life now, since her enlightenment, I can use that, is that she's looks round and she's surprised that she doesn't fall through the floor. I think this is quite telling, because I've not heard anyone say it before except her. So this isn't, an Axion one where this is passed down from Daddy Tony. I don't, it might be, but I haven't heard anyone say it before. And she seemed genuinely, if you can judge genuineness from the intonation of somebody saying something. But the way that Jim talks about things, about it's just this, and that's nothingness doing torching. I see that from my Feynman diagram point of view as just what would be if you'd imagine a cube and there are dots on the front face of the cube and on the sides and the tops of the cube, and then you realize that the dots go all the way through, and then you take off the sides and the dots just go everywhere and everything's just dots, right? And then you've got you can either look, you can float in the dots, and then you've got your whatever it is. But these people are, it's almost like that sort of thing from our point of view, when we have a me point of view, looking at the dots, and even if they're quite dense dots, you think, well, why aren't I falling? Or why isn't this rising? Or how is it that all this falling together, falling apart, falling together? Why? It doesn't make sense. And this is the sort of vision that if we're going to get anywhere near what Jim is saying, this is the sort of vision that we have to be having about what they're on about. It's just all dots, and they don't have a feeling that they're a person in dots. They feel as though they're not even a dot in dots. There is just dots, and it's not around them so much, but because there's still, I don't think there's ever a complete dropping of the I idea, that Lisa is saying that she, looking at it now with the me reference point gone, the me reference point, there doesn't seem enough solidity in anything to keep anything up. And that's that. So it's all to do with points of reference, points of view, and having a point of view and where to come from. And I'm desperately wanting Axel to stay around, because I'm looking at this in my top comments, Ricardo, and I've answered to him and asked him about what he preferred about the second video, that hello Ricardo, that you watched. And I'm just seeing the numbers falling on the Daily Motion and see it plummeting really quite quickly, and I'm projecting a future where there's just me and Ricardo. Even Axion doesn't like the girls. Right. Well, I'm not surprised. This was this whole video about point of view, and in all our conversations that we have, point of view must be the main big thing, point that it is wrapped round through it. Everything is point of view. Where you think you're referencing yourself from, or how you see the world, it's all point of view. And when thinking about this, or anything quite frankly in life, but this particularly, I think you always have to bear in mind point of view, and then have your point of view, and then think, well, is there another point of view I could use, and shift around and look at it from that point of view and another point of view. And that's the way to go. We get stuck as people with stuck points of view. It's not something we say is a point of view. It's a position that we look out at the world from and reference back to. I at the top of the pyramid of reference points. I is the antenna on the top, where these enlightened people seem to have taken down the antenna, or the antenna wiring's gone. We have I at the top of it, and we must realize that we've got I up the top of everything, and just try and jiggle around. And the more you notice how I is at the top of the antenna at the top of everything you say, that I this, I that, I think this, whatever. It's not just speech, it's a point of view you have about life, basically, as often stated by Jim, that you and me think that we are the centre of the universe. And what we are talking about here are points of view that are coming from trying to explain that is one point of view, but there are other points of view besides, each individual being the point of their own universe. Or at least first step is to realize that when you and I are talking, we are always talking from the point of view that I am the center of the universe. And perhaps that's not the most descriptive way to go about things when we're at this stage of the game.